by myself, and as I'm sitting at the bar, a young, handsome man approached me. He sat down beside me and ordered me a drink. He then asked me could he stay the night with me if he gave me $700. And I wasn't finna turn down $700 for one night. The next morning, before he left my house, he told me that he didn't have any cash on him. He told me that he was going to have his secretary write the check for me. And in order to keep what we did a secret, he called the payment rent for apartment. On his way to work, he decided that $700 wasn't worth what we did. So instead, he had his secretary write me a check for $350. And then he wrote me a note. The note said, "This is the amount of $350 for rent of your apartment." Then the note said, "I am so sorry, but I am not sending you the full $700 because when I rented the apartment, I was under the impression that it had never been occupied. And it was also supposed to have plenty of heat. Not to mention it was supposed to be small enough to make me cozy and feel at home. But last night I found out that it had been previously occupied. There was also no heat and it was entirely too large." After I read that, I decided to return the check, but I also wrote him a note. I said, "First of all, I cannot understand how you expected for a beautiful apartment to remain unoccupied. And as for the heat, oh, there is plenty of heat if you know how to turn it on." Then I said, regarding the space, the apartment is regular size. But if you don't have enough furniture to fill it, please don't blame the landlady. But anyways, I need the full amount of $700 or I'll be forced to contact your current landlady. I went to a bar last night.
Shalom, shalom. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations unto the elect and feeding the sheep of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth. With this great gospel coming out of our Bible, and what we doing? We're documenting the end of this kingdom, the end of this man's kingdom, right? A wicked kingdom that has been set up by who? The Edomites, the so-called white people of this society. Right, and in this society, what did they do? They uplifted women. They uplifted transformers. They uplifted wicked children, right? They uplifted things that would cause what? A destruction in what houses? And destruction in these people's houses, especially with an Israelite house. An Israelite house, because when you go to an Israelite house, what you got? You got these Mighty Joe Young looking ass women, right? These demonic, satanic, plastic hair, plastic eyes, fake women, right? What they do, they set up men, they set people up to get robbed. They're on the internet selling themselves, they're prostituting themselves, right? They're whores. The scripture says what? Let's get this verse. I'm going to go to the book of Deuteronomy 23:17. It says, "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor sodomites of the sons of Israel." I'm reading again. "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel," right? It says whore. Right, what's up? It goes what? Prostitute. Right? Let's get this. It says the word whore is outdated, primarily used in older dictionaries. That generally means prostitute or woman who engages in promiscuous sexual intercourse. It's considered a despairing and offensive term for a woman. Right? The Lord said it should be no whores, no freaky bitches of the house of Israel, no sluts, no jump from dick to dick women of the house of Israel, right? Because the first man you lay with, that's your husband forever. The only way you guys break up is if you women commit adultery, and that's the only way the man can get rid of you under the law of the Lord, right? So here we are in this society, ain't nothing but fucking funky bitches of the house of Israel, sluts of the house of Israel, STDs, spreading women of the house of Israel. I'm reading again Deuteronomy 23:17. "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite," right? You see a bunch of the men of Israel, sodomites, right? They act like they gangsters and thugs, sodomites. They act like they high, mighty businessmen, sodomites. They act like they're preachers and pastors, sodomites, right? Tough, football, NFL, baseball playing niggas, sodomites, right? There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Right, and here we are in a society where what our women's pride is lifted up of them being being a whore, being a slut, right? All you see is women showing they funky asses, right? Women going out butt naked, right? Because they don't have no fucking order in their house, and they fooling men, right? With these fake faces and these fake bodies, right? You see this one, the Fulton County Sheriff Office releases mugshot of, what's the whole name? Of Demetria Spence, women linked to 911 call in young Scooter's death. Right, they said the woman made a false call on the rapper, and I guess the police clapped him. But look at how she on Instagram with this fake ass grill. But when they locked her ass up, well, who she look like? She looked like one of them NBA niggas. She looked like a broke ass NBA nigga, right? And look at the other one on the right, boy, Mighty Joe Young. Right, it says woman's mugshot now going viral. Right, this is what you got. You got them Instagram hoes, niggas going crazy. Ooh, baby, when can we meet? And you done took her home, boy. Now the fucking makeup done wore off, and this is what you get right here, boy. T Grizzly. Yeah, that's what you get right there. And it's only getting worse, right? It says here, a woman who falsely accused a stranger of rape and kidnapping has been sentenced to 45 days to 23 months in jail. Right, that's a sign of these women, they're falling. Look at them. These women are falling, right? They go into prison for lies, right? And when they go to prison, what you get to see that true real. You really get to see what they look like. They look like monsters, goddammit. Right, they look like monsters. I'm gonna read this. It says, I came over. Let's get this, what the brother say. He said, I came over, but your daddy was standing on the porch. It says, I ain't got my wig on, right? That was me. Come back. This is a good little clip, boy. I had to put that in here, right? It says, homeless baddies, right? So-called bad homeless bitches, right? Ain't got nowhere to live. Men live happily alone at home while women live in their cars, right? In their cars. It's a lot of women living in their cars because of their goddamn pride, right? I'm gonna read this Proverbs 16 and 18. It says, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall, right? You see, this is the most uplifted these women have ever been, right? Due to what? Social media, due to Esau giving them a free reign to do whatever the hell they want. Now that Esau's clamping down, right? Now that the world is tired of their bullshit, right? These women go to another country and act the fool. They getting locked up. Right, they're getting put to death, right? It's a lot of women dying, right? It's a lot of fucking women dying, right? And that's the Lord putting their asses to sleep. It says, pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And you're going to see more women falling in the days that we're living in. More women losing the apartments, the houses, right? The necessities, the accessories, the weaves, right? You're going to see more women with their natural hair, right? That alopecia. Right, women with their head covered, right, because they can't afford the weave, they can't afford the wigs, can't afford the makeup. More funky bitches, they can't afford the soap, the water. They living in their cars, right? It says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon. I'm reading again. This is the book of Isaiah 2, verse 12. It says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low, right? You women, y'all about to be brought low, right? All these high lifted, lofty, right? Prideful minded, exalted in their mind, right? It says when a man think himself to be someone he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. And that's what you women, you've been deceived, right? You've been deceived through Esau putting you on that pedestal, because at the least they don't give a damn about no goddamn women. They don't give a fuck about no women. When they kick them wars off in them different countries and have motherfuckers dropping bombs, do you think they tell the women to leave? No, they just drop bombs on the women and the children and prepare for war in America. And a lot of you women in America, you about to fucking what? Be unalived, right? You about to be unalived. Isaiah 2 and 12, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought what? He shall be brought low. Right? And we're seeing these women's pride being brought low. We're seeing these women's prides being brought low through what? The loss of what those office jobs they used to have. More nurses are going homeless, right? How a nurse go homeless? That was one of the main things women were going to school for, to be a nurse, right? To do this for an office job. Now these jobs, no, we're no longer hiring women, right? It's a lot of women jobs that are no longer hiring the women, right? You got these transformers in them positions, right? You got a lot of these positions due to that one C19 we went through a few years ago. These businesses no longer exist. Right, these bartending jobs where women are serving food, that's a thing of the past. Motherfuckers sitting at home ordering shit. Right, and now they putting robots to deliver food. Right, they got all type of things going on. It's coming to the point where you women are only gonna be useful for only one thing, that's sexual activity. And pretty soon some of you mighty Joe Young women, ain't nobody gonna want you for that sexual activity. Right, you know what they gonna use you for? That human meat market. When them times come, right? It's a lot of motherfucking women that went missing, and ain't nobody ask no questions, don't nobody give a fuck, right? It's the end of a hope. It's the end of a hope, right? It's Proverbs 16:5. It says, "Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished." And who's joining hand in hand with Esau, Edom? These goddamn Israelite women, the black woman, the Hispanic woman. Right, the Latino woman, she going through it right now, man. Her husband being deported, she being deported. Right, they had the Mexican Day parade, but they said they gotta shut that bitch down due to fears of ICE coming through and grabbing people. Right, so it's not looking too good, man. We are definitely in the time of what Ezekiel 9:4. It says, "Have no pity on they men, they women, they little children." Right, unless you have that market exemption, which is that thou from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. It says Proverbs 16:5, "Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished." It's the book of Proverbs 8:13. "The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and the evil way. And the forward mouth do I hate." That's the spirit of these funky bitches, right? Evil, prideful, arrogant. They got that evil way in that mouthpiece, boy. They can't stop running that grill. And what they run that grill to wickedness, right? Who did you learn Christianity from? Your funky ass mother, your grandmother, your auntie, right? Who put you into all these bullshit things of distraction in this world? Mostly your mothers, right? Grandmothers, right? Look at these jakes who grew up in these hoods where both their parents died. They only grew up with grandmama. Them niggas done turned gangbangers and criminals, right? It's because a woman is not set up to guide and lead, right? A woman, the Bible said what? Let's get this. It's the book of Proverbs 9:13. It says, "A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing," right? These women, they don't know nothing, right? They are fools because they've been raised by fools, right? A lot of these so-called educated college women, right? They think that degree done put them up on a pedestal. Now that job done vanish. That degree is worthless, right? She, like they talking about the Candace Holmes. She trying to come back to the black community, right? You have a lot of these so-called women who were on CNN, on Fox, right? Part of that Edomite society. Now they find out Esau about to put your ass to death. They gonna try to come back to Jake community, and Jake don't give a damn about them, right? Because these women were foolish, they were clamorous, and guess what? They ain't know a damn thing. They were simple, right? It says a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing, right? You got the one woman in Texas. They always promoting her because she's loud. Always arguing and shit, man. Don't nobody want to hear no goddamn woman say nothing. A woman is supposed to be in the kitchen and in the bedroom, goddamn it. And in the kingdom of heaven, that's where they gonna be. They gonna be in these heathen women. They gonna be in full captivity. They gonna be working harder. Some of my Edomite heathens, some of my heathen women gonna be working harder than the men. Right? It says a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 26:25. It says a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Right? All these women who don't fear the Lord, nothing but dogs. And what is a female dog? A bitch. We don't respect none of these bitches, man. We don't see none of these bitches, man. We here to speak against this system and wait for the Lord to put their asses to death. Right? It says, many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine and the sword. Right? And perish from the sword, and the famine is next. Right? A lot of these women, they're going to starve to death. They're going to be put to death. And guess what? All we're going to do is fall back and pray to the Lord that none of that evil come to us, right? 2nd Ezra 6:18, and it says, and it is said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Bear with me. Satan. Second Ezra 6, and let's start at verse 18. It says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisitions of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, the books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together, right? What it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, right? What world? The world that you presently living in, right? The world that you're presently living in, that world is vanishing away, right? Well, you can see the signs. It says, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 and 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's what's about to happen right now. Right? We already had these women coming, bringing the premature births of children. That happened in the 90s. Before that, you didn't have that shit too much. Right? A woman would go through her whole 9 months and bloop. And then in the 80s and 90s, the drug epidemic, man, bitches dropping babies at 4 months, 5 months, right? And now it talks about, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. What the fuck did Trump just do? He passing tariffs. He passing rules and regulations to shut down the businesses of America. And what's one of the main businesses of America? The business of feeding the people, right? Feeding the people. Food, right? Distribution. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, in which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Right? It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Right? That's what's about to happen. That's what's about to happen. These women got these little friend groups, like they could trust in another woman. You don't lost your mind. You're gonna be like the women in the Bible, man. You're gonna eat one child one day, and the next day you're gonna try to eat the other child, and the bitch gonna flip on your ass. And right, and what else happened? The scriptures talk about how the king came by and the woman was crying, talking about help. And what the king said, man, the Lord ain't helping you. Why should I help you? Paraphrasing, right? That's the times we coming to. Ain't gonna be no help for these hoes. Right? It's about to turn, the society, the earth is about to turn against Edom. And who's been Edom's number one homie? These wicked women, right? These wicked ass women. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still. In 3 hours they shall not run. right? This is the book of Isaiah 32 and 2. It says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest. Well, not just any man, not just any man, right? Because most of these women with their husbands of this society about to be put to death, right? All you Israelite men who didn't repent, return back to the Lord, a lot of you about to be put to death. You about to be get sent off to the wars and the famine. You're going to die in the wars, right? It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place, a man of God, a servant of the Lord, a prophet, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Right? Because one thing we know that we got what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. What do they have for hope? Nothing. What can they call on for help in those times? What can they call on to deliver them in the days that we're coming into, right? They don't even know about a famine is coming. They don't even know about a collapse of a currency is coming. They're going to fucking take the RFID chip, right? So the only man you're going to be safe within those days is a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.